Okay, so I took the clock out of the vet, put the hands on it, and hooked up a ground here and a live here, and this thing's been running now for over an hour. So my issue is, I guess I'm having is ground. So this is the ground here, which grounds inside the can here, and I scraped it inside there to make a little better ground, and I filed this a little bit, lifted the spring up, but it's still not getting a good ground. So I think what I'm going to do is solder a piece of wire on here and run it through the other hole so that I got a better ground, and see how that works for it. And I'll just show you when I hook up power that it actually runs. And there it goes, ticking away. So I think my problem is a ground. We'll get that ground hooked up and we'll see what it does for it. Okay, so I got my ground strap hooked up and it seems to be working pretty good. So I think that's my problem. For those of you that want to work on these things, this clock is pretty simple to take apart. To take the face off, you just pull the needles off, and then to take the face off, you just bend these little pieces of metal straight again. Don't go too far because they'll break easy. And then once you got this off, there's little pieces of metal that are bent in like this as well. Straighten those up, and the edges are even crimped in a little bit. So just straighten it up all the way around and put pressure on here with your thumb, and it should pop right out. Okay, so the ground wire I put on here isn't doing the trick, but there is something that is doing the trick, because when I had it apart, I actually soldered something into place, and I'm going to show you what that is. Now, taking all this apart again is not a good plan, because all my little clips are getting weaker and weaker as I open this up. So we may end up gluing this face back on at some point in time if I don't get this done right. So we'll pull the face off. Okay, now we're down inside again, and now we got to straighten out all these things here. So that's the next step. Okay, so I've got it all tore apart again, and this ground wire I got on here is soldered on there really well, but my problem ended up being down here. This was just kind of like a cotter key that was that's actually sprang open, and that was the ground. So what I actually did was I soldered it to the spring thing, and now it actually works again. So now what I'm going to do is take this wire off of here, put everything back together, and we should have a working clock again. Keep tinkering. Keeps you sane.